Hello children, welcome to the next class of biology. Hope all of you are clear with the concepts which we have discussed in our previous video. There we have seen some of the important topics of the lesson, conservation of plants and animals. Today we are going to see some other topics of the same lesson. Let us see wildlife sanctuaries first. The terms wildlife sanctuary and national park, these two terms we have come across in the previous video. Am I right? Yes. When we have discussed about biosphere reserve, I told you it may be with, one or many wildlife sanctuaries and even national parks. And you know that biosphere reserve is a place which is meant for the protection of plants and animals. Am I right? Yes. Let's see what is wildlife sanctuary. Wildlife sanctuary, as the term indicates, it's meant for the protection of wildlife. That means animal habitats. Animals and its habitats are being protected from any sort of disturbances. And that means capturing, killing, poaching of the animals. Wild animals are strictly prohibited in wildlife sanctuaries. And I told you, in wildlife sanctuaries, restricted human activities are allowed. Human activities are allowed, but that is limited. And we are not allowed to capture or poach animals, and that is completely prohibited in wildlife sanctuaries. And their comfortable living to the animals are being given. And in case of India, we have 544 wildlife sanctuaries. And India has beautiful wildlife sanctuaries with dense forest, large rivers, and high and beautiful mountains. So you should know that wildlife sanctuary is a place where the wildlife or the animals and its habitats are being protected from any kind of disturbances. And their human activities are allowed, but it is limited. It is restricted. We are not allowed to capture or kill or even poach animals. That is completely prohibited. Understood? Yes. Let's see what is national park. National park is an area which is meant for the protection of flora, fauna, landscapes and historic objects. And you know that flora means the plants of an area. Fauna means it's an animals of an area. That means both plants and animals, including its habitats. And if any landscapes or historic objects are there, and those all are protected in national parks. So national parks are the area which is set by government for the protection of natural environment. And in India, we have about 103 national parks. The national park in Satpura, that's the first reserve forest in India. Clear? So you should know that national park is an area which is meant for the protection of flora, that means plants, fauna, means animals, including landscapes and historic objects, and where human activities are completely restricted. Understood? Let's see some of the important national parks of our country, the place where it is located, and the key flora or fauna of the area. The first one which is given in your book, and that is Jim Corbett National Park, and that is in Uttarakhand. And the main animals, the protected animals, and that is tigers. Coming to Kanha National Park, which is in Madhya Pradesh, and there also it's a place which is meant for the protection of especially tigers. Next, it's in Rajasthan, a bird sanctuary named Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary, and the migratory birds are protected over there. And every winter season, there you could see many migratory birds which are visiting from different places. Coming to Nandankanan Biological Park, and it's in Bhubaneswar, there the white tigers are protected. In Odisha, we have Simlipal Biosphere Reserve. This we have already come across this term, Simlipal Biosphere Reserve, and that is in Odisha where the tigers are protected. You could see more, the tigers over there. Then a famous one, Gir Sanctuary. It is in Gujarat, and there, the Asiatic lion and cheetah, they are the main fauna of the area. In Assam, we have Kaziranga Sanctuary, and one-horned rhinos are the famous over there. That is in Kaziranga Sanctuary in Assam. In Rajasthan, we have a place which is meant for the protection of tigers, and that sanctuary is called Sariska Sanctuary. In Haryana, another bird sanctuary is there, Sultanpur Lake Bird Sanctuary, which is also meant for the protection of birds. Karnataka, we have, a place which is exclusively for elephant and which is called Bandipur Sanctuary, which is in Karnataka. Indian elephants are, being protected more over there. And, even in Mudumalai also, that is in Tamil Nadu, you could see that's the area which is specifically for, the Indian elephants. And, in West Bengal, we have a national park, and that is National Botanical Garden, and which is meant for the protection of rare species of plants. And these are the few, the national parks of India, and here I have given the place where it's seen and, the important flora or fauna which are being protected over there. Hope it is clear for you. Let's move to the next topic. And, here afterwards, we are going to see a few important terms and which are related with the conservation of plants and animals. The first one, this is, familiar for you, extinct species. And this you might have come across many times, the term extinct species. And this term we use, in order to denote the species of plants and animals which are no longer being here, which have been lost forever. Maybe it is due to natural causes or some other, artificial forces and all. And the plants and animals which are not being here, which have been lost forever. From the earth's surface, they have been removed forever. And such plants and animals are being called with the term extinct species. Some of the important, extinct species of plants and animals have been shown here. See, the list of the animals have been given here. And, the very famous one, dinosaurs, and, dodo, saber-toothed cat, woolly mammoth, Tasmanian tiger, passenger pigeon, golden toad, ground sloth. These are few animals, extinct animals. Let's see another term, that is endangered species. The species of plants and animals which are limited in number and are under the threat of extinction, they are called as endangered species, which are presently seen now, and if the causative factors for the process of extinction, if it continues to operate, and these species, these endangered species will become extinct. So such kind of plants and animals which are under the threat of extinction, they are in the danger of extinction, we call them as endangered species. See, for example, Indian rhino, Asiatic lion, crocodile, blue whale, all these in this category. So you have to know that endangered species are less in number, and they are under the threat of extinction if we are not protecting them properly. Now the next term, vulnerable species. Vulnerable species, They are larger in number than the endangered one, but they can be endangered if we are not protecting them properly. And that means a species of plants and animals which are likely to become endangered if the causative factors for the process continue to operate. And those species, they are called, vulnerable species. Examples are, golden langur, chinkara deer, blood pheasant. These are few examples of vulnerable species. So you should know that, and they are, more in number than endangered species, but they are not endangered still. But if you don't protect them well, and if you don't conserve them well, they become endangered. Next category is called rare species, the species of plants or animals which are in very small numbers at present. We call them as rare species. Examples are golden cat, Indian pied hornbill, chrysalis, Himalayan porcupine. So rare species are very less in number. Now, one more term we have that is called threatened species. The endangered species, vulnerable species, and rare species together, collectively, we call them as threatened species. So, threatened species includes endangered and critically endangered, along with vulnerable and rare species. Together, all these one together we have to call with the term threatened species. If we don't conserve them, they become extinct. This threatened species become extinct. Here, different classifications have been given. This is actually proposed by IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Nature. They have classified organism based on the level of extinction, like as extinct. Extinct means they are no more there. Wild extinct, that is EW. In wild extinct, it shows that they survive, that is only under captivity. Now then comes threatened species. I told you, critically endangered means they are getting into the extinct level. That is called, they are endangered now, but going into the level of extinct. That is called critically endangered, and even endangered also like that. And then comes to vulnerable. Vulnerable, I told you, it is they are more in number, like in case of plants and animals, and they are not that much threatened, but if we don't conserve them properly, they becomes endangered. And then comes near to threatened, LC least concern. So these are the different categories which has been proposed by IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Nature. Hope it is clear for you. Thank you.